Hey YouTube, it's Chuki here from sojournerscholar.com, and in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the grace period for F1 or J1 international students in the US. So stick around until the end of this video to understand what the grace period is, what you can do and cannot do while on the grace period. Coming right up. As an international student in the US, your grace period is the maximum amount of time you're allowed to remain in the US after the completion of your studies on an F1 or J1 visa status. F1 students who have continuously maintained their status in the US get a grace period of 60 days after the completion of their program as shown on their Form I-20. And in the case that the F1 student has been approved for OPT or STEM OPT, they get a 60-day grace period after the completion of their OPT as shown on the Form I-20 or the Employment Authorization Document card, while J1 international students get a grace period of 30 days after the completion of their program as shown on the DS 2019. Now, there is an exception to getting the grace period. An F1 or J1 student who has been found to be in violation of their immigration status is not eligible to receive a grace period after the completion of their studies. They must immediately rectify the violation of their immigration status and be put back into a lawful status as an F1 or J1 student before they could be eligible to receive a grace period after the completion of their programs of study. Now, let's talk about what you can and cannot do during your grace period. If you ever depart the US during your grace period ends and you'll no longer be allowed to re-enter the US back into your F1 or J1 status. Secondly, during your grace period, you may not extend your program of study. If you must extend your program of study, you may contact your designated school official if you're an F1 student, or contact your sponsor if you're a J1 student before the completion of your program of study. Thirdly, while on the grace period, you are not allowed to work or study. The grace period is specifically designed for international students on an F, J, or M visa to prepare for departure from the US. So what exactly are you allowed to do on your grace period? F1 students who have successfully completed their programs of study and are on the 60-day grace period may apply for the post-completion optional practical training. I talk about how to do so in the video linked above, which you could also find down in the description section below. During your grace period, you may also transfer into a new academic program at the same education level or into a higher educational level. For example, an international student may go from the undergrad level into a master's level or from the master's level into a PhD level. And at the same time, you may also transfer laterally across educational levels. For example, you may go from completing a Bachelor's of Science in Computer Engineering to wanting to pursue a Bachelor's of Science in Electrical Engineering. Thirdly, on the grace period, you may also change your non-immigrant status. For example, you may go from an F1 student visa status into a B2 tourist visa status. Whatever you choose to do, you must take action during your grace period. Failing to depart the US during your grace period could have negative consequences in the future when trying to re-enter the US. I hope you found this video very informative. Leave me a comment below if you have any questions about the grace period. Like and share the video if you got some value out of it, and if you're meeting for the first time, make sure to subscribe to the channel to catch up with more helpful content coming your way. For more helpful resources, check out our website at sojournerscholar.com. Thank you for watching the video, and I'll see you on the next one. But until then, be unbounded.